Warning, this show may contain hard truths, strong coffee, and stronger opinions. Side effects may include offended pundits, involuntary eye rolls when you hear fact checker, and a sudden urge to buy a border wall one brick at a time. If you're allergic to common sense, sarcasm, or emotional support goats, yeah, this ain't your show. But if you're still with us, buckle up. It's time to shake some sense into the headlines.
Tonight on Data Dissonance, the border crisis is supposedly over, or so says the silence from mainstream media. Illegal crossings have dropped like CNN's ratings. The cartels are still raking it in, and not one of your favorite blue-check news anchors is talking about it. Why the blackout? What's really going on behind the curtain? We're diving into the numbers, the narrative, and the nonsense. Rachel's bringing the moral clarity, Brian's got the financial fire, and Daniel, God help us all, has probably been tracking cartel activity on Reddit for 3 days straight. This is the Border Blackout. Before we get into the cartel chaos, let's talk about another kind of hero, Caleb Rourke. A former patriot with a target on his back, a deep state to unravel, and zero patience for bureaucratic excuses. The Covenant Protocol and the Prophet Directive are already out, both page-turning thrillers full of betrayal, covert ops, and government lies that feel a little too real. And Book 3, Black Echo Rising, is coming in hot. If you like your fiction gritty, fast-paced, and eerily plausible, search Caleb Rourke on Amazon and start the fight that never ended. All right, let's peel back the curtain. The numbers are out, and guess what? Border crossings are down, way down. Since President Trump returned to office, illegal entries have hit record lows. The parole pipeline has been shut off, cartels are scrambling, and ICE is actually allowed to do its job again. But if you think that means the crisis is over, I've got a government grant to sell you. The truth is, what's happening behind the scenes might be even more dangerous. Because when the media goes quiet and the numbers look too clean, it's time to ask, who's still getting paid? Who's still suffering? And why has the outrage machine gone mute? Rachel, start us off. Bring some heart to the border wall.
Thanks, Artie. Look, I'll be the first to say I'm relieved the crossings are down. I support secure borders, always have, but here's the thing. We can't just stop at the surface stats. For every drop in illegal crossings, there are still countless families caught in the wreckage of a broken system. We've still got unaccompanied minors stuck in legal limbo, survivors of trafficking with nowhere to go, and asylum cases that are backed up so far, even Kafka would say, that's excessive. And what drives me nuts is how people act like compassion and order can't exist in the same policy. We can have secure borders and still treat people like humans. We can enforce the law without turning into cold, bureaucratic machines. The fact that we're pretending it has to be one or the other, that's the real lie. And the silence around it now, that's complicity.
Rachel always knows how to drop truth like it's hot, and somehow still make you feel like you should be a better person. Brian, hit us with the dollars and the dirty dealings.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. Everyone's dancing over the drop in numbers, but follow the money and tell me when it ever stopped. Spoiler alert, it didn't. The cartels didn't pack up and go home. They just raised prices. Human smuggling is now a premium product. Less quantity, more profit, tighter routes, fewer risks, and higher margins. It's like a cartel MBA. And don't even get me started on the NGOs. These guys call themselves nonprofits, but some of them are moving more money than the Vegas Strip on fight night. Taxpayer dollars are funding transportation, lodging, food, even legal counsel for people who just hopped the border illegally. You think that system disappeared when Trump took office again? Nah, it just went into stealth mode. And we're still footing the bill while some DC contractor buys another vacation home. Same hustle, just fewer headlines.
Coachella for corruption, just without the decent music. All right, Daniel, connect the dots. Who benefits from keeping this quiet?
Oh, you want dots? I've got corkboard and red string for days. The media blackout isn't an accident, Artie. It's a coordinated retreat. Under Biden, the border was wall-to-wall chaos, and the press ate it up until it got inconvenient. Now, with Trump back and the numbers down, they've gone full ghost mode. Why? Because they can't admit it worked. They can't handle the fact that walls, enforcement, and deportations actually do something. It breaks their narrative, it embarrasses their allies, and it challenges their donors. And let's not forget who those donors are. Big tech that wants cheap labor, NGOs that want funding, and consultants that want chaos to keep writing invoices. Silence isn't peace, it's strategy. And right now, it's being deployed with surgical precision to avoid giving Trump even 1 ounce of credit. That's why I trust a CBP agent with a sunburn more than I trust Anderson Cooper.
There it is. Crossings are down, but the smoke's still thick, and we're breathing it whether we like it or not. Stick around. Tomorrow we head to Texas, where the governor's playing constitutional hardball and the feds just stepped on the wrong boots. But first, coffee, hoodies, and the only bumper sticker that might get you uninvited from Thanksgiving. All right, quick break from the Cartel Chronicles. You need gear that screams built different, raised right? We got it. The Data and Dissonance store is live and loaded. 3 coffee blends roasted with liberty. Hoodies that make your in-laws nervous. Trucker hats, mugs, tote bags, even bumper stickers that say what your mouth legally can't at work. Hit up datadissonance.printify.me and grab the merch that lets people know you're not playing along. Today's Patriot Minute goes to Project Dynamo, a nonprofit veteran-led organization that's been rescuing Americans left behind overseas when our government fails to act. From Afghanistan to Israel, when bureaucracy stalls, they move. No politics, just courage, coordination, and a whole lot of grit. They remind us that patriotism isn't about slogans. It's about stepping in when others step away. That's what it means to serve, and they're doing it in real time. All right, team. Before we shut the gates on tonight's mission, let's go around the horn. Rachel, wrap it up with something that'll make us feel guilty for having a soul.
It's tempting to look at the drop in border crossings and say mission accomplished. But that kind of thinking is dangerous. The real story is always in the shadows, in the lives still stuck in legal limbo, in the human trafficking networks that don't report to the government, and in the silence from the same pundits who used to shout. We can't forget the people in this just because the chaos is less visible. Compassion doesn't expire when the cameras turn off. And as much as I love to see policy work, I'll never stop demanding it be humane too. If that makes me soft, fine, I'll wear it like body armor.
Rachel bringing tears and legal takes in the same breath. Brian, give us the rage.
The rage is eternal, Artie. This whole thing proves we didn't have a border crisis. We had a leadership crisis. The tools were always there, but it took guts to use them. And now that Trump's back and it's working, everyone's acting like the problem solved itself. Nope. We still have NGOs cashing checks, contractors milking the system, and a federal government that only cares when it's politically useful. If you think this problem's over, you're part of the problem. And if one more anchor on MSNBC says border peace, I'm mailing them a pair of boots and a one-way ticket to Eagle Pass.
Brian, keeping rage levels at DEFCON 3. Daniel, end us on a weird note.
Look, peace and quiet always make me nervous. When things go dark, someone's hiding something. And the fact that the media, the NGOs, and half of DC suddenly don't care about the border anymore, that tells me there's a new operation underway. Maybe it's political, maybe it's financial, maybe it's both. But rest assured, they're not done. They're just muting the noise to prep the next phase. And if that phase involves amnesty, digital ID tracking, or another shadowy pilot program, I'll be the guy in the corner with the coffee, the corkboard, and the I told you so mug.
Let's not kid ourselves. The numbers are down, but the game, still dirty. What we're seeing isn't a fix, it's a facelift. They slapped a fresh coat of silence over a crumbling foundation and called it progress. Meanwhile, the cartels pivoted faster than a woke CEO during Pride Month, and the NGOs, still running travel agencies with your tax dollars like nothing changed. They just rebranded chaos into managed migration. And the press? They ate it up like gluten-free propaganda. And don't get me started on the media blackout. When Biden was letting the border bleed, they had 24-hour coverage with violin music and crying sound bites. Now that Trump's policies are actually working? Crickets. They'd rather cover a raccoon in a kayak than admit border security matters. It's not journalism, it's narrative management. Sponsored by Pfizer, produced by the DNC, and fact-checked by people who think a wall is racist, but biometric tracking is inclusive. Here's the uncomfortable truth. We've built an entire economy around lawlessness. Contractors get rich off cages. NGOs get grants for chaos. Politicians get donations for pretending they care. And when someone actually plugs the hole, they all panic, not because it's wrong, but because it threatens the cash flow. So no, I'm not celebrating a drop in numbers, not until we gut the whole corrupt system that let it happen in the first place. But here's the silver lining. We're still here, talking about it, fighting about it, refusing to play along. And that matters more than they want to admit. Tomorrow we head to Texas, where red state resistance is turning into something bigger. Lawsuits, power plays, even a National Guard face-off with the feds. You want to see a state draw a line? Texas is using a permanent marker, so don't check out now. We're just getting warmed up. Stand tall, speak truth, stir thought. And we'll see you back here tomorrow at 5 p.m. sharp for another ride through the madness.